Is this still
Trying
on?
to reconnect. It's one of those deals, huh?
Are you guys just standing still just
freaking
to
hate
fuck
this.
with me? What's actually happening? Oh man, is this still working?
Well, good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Dusty.
It is morning right now.
Where we are,
It is morning where we are right now, and we have
but
something
not
special.
where our guest is.
We have something. I was going to say we have something special planned for today.
We do.
We have another guest. We ever do shows by ourselves anymore?
No.
It's always funner when we add another person. Well, we have a very special guest. I'm excited to get into it. I don't know how long this episode is going to be because we might talk forever, but I have wanted to get this person on the show since I ran across his Instagram account several months ago, maybe a year ago. I don't know. And we're going to welcome to the show right now. If you do not know who he is, you're about to find out. Scott Lancaster. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Glad to be here, guys. Guys, honestly, that was fantastic. I would not have known. I've literally been talking for 20 minutes before you did that intro. That was awesome. No one will ever know. That was incredible.
No one will
Thank
ever
you.
know
Thank you.
that we've been lifelong friends. Bam.
Yep.
So, all right, I want to start from the beginning on how, obviously, our account, Bench Jeweler Memes, started on Instagram just making silly memes. And I don't remember when, but it's several months ago, if not a year ago, I happened to run across your account because it was, obviously, my feed is full of jewelry and watch stuff. And I ran across all of your Instagram reels of you doing your mockumentary style of a Rolex customer trying to get a Rolex watch from an AD.
Yes. So funny.
And we were sharing those back and forth, and I'm like,
Yes.
this dude is so funny. I'm like, and he gets it.
Yes.
And so I just remember at some point months ago, like, hey, whenever there's an opportunity, we got to have you on the show. So that's how we found you. And so I want you to at least introduce yourself for the people who watch our show that don't know who you are, how you got into, and what you're doing exactly before we get into what we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah. The founder of Emerton Scott Watch Company, where we make watches, and I do a little bit of social media, which is obviously how you guys found me. That Rolex skit that you're talking about, like that whole series of skits, people ask me all the time, like, how did you come up with that? Like, what's your strategy? Like, how do you come up with the scripts? And honestly, I have zero strategy. There is no mastermind like reason to do it. I literally did it
Same.
because I went to the Rolex store and I came out and I was just like, what the fuck just happened? That's literally what I said to myself.
I could see it.
And then I came out and I was like, this is normal. And then literally later, like I was just eating some cake, drinking some coffee, and I was like, I'm going to make a fucking skit about this on Instagram and see what happens. And I did it. And now that's got like the first one's got like 2 million or something, 4 million or something stupid across like TikTok or whatever. And then it worked. And I was like, wait a second. Instagram actually works, because every other post before that I'd literally got like 10 likes or something, like maximum.
Yeah.
From
Right.
like my mum or on her separate 10 accounts. So that was literally like when I thought, like, wait a second, like if I actually do funny stuff that people actually like, maybe people might actually follow me. So that's kind of what started it. But super random, mate. Super random.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it because it reminded me of the content that we make. Exactly
Yeah.
what you were.
Right.
We don't plan or script. It's just life in the jewelry store happens, and I'm like, oh, dude, I have to make a meme about this. And Brad, you'll have to get into this too, because you've worked with doing some repairs in your former life, doing some like not AED Rolex repairs, but doing some Rolex repairs for stores. And we kind of have. I mean, we've all been into a Rolex store in the area and we all know the story. It's like, and if people don't know and they're watching this, like, it's impossible to get a Rolex. You get put on a list, and it's almost comical, and it's basically like, hey, just keep spending money and keep spending money and keep spending money, and then maybe one day in the future, you'll get that Rolex you like. And it's absolutely absurd. I'll be honest, Brad, I'll let you speak into it. Because I started in watches like 20 some years ago, just doing batteries and stuff like that. But then I've worked with watchmakers, and we see the Rolexes come in and we hear the story. So we've been around them our whole career. and I just got to the point where I just stopped caring about watches for a long time, and actually got to the point where I hated it, which is what brings me to eventually what we're going to talk about is your brand here. And I think it was just because of not the personal connection, but the connection of seeing who you are as
Yes.
someone who is starting a watch brand, and being able to have that connection, and to see that you took the time to get into it. But again, I don't want to get too deep into that. But Brad, like, you talk about, like, how true is those little skits?
I would imagine very true. I've never went into a Rolex store, so but you know, we have customers that talk about it all the time, and there's memes upon memes of the wait list. You know, it's just become a joke now,
Yeah.
and it's so
Exactly.
you know, I just think what you did was hilarious with the skits.
Oh yeah. So it took me because we found you on Instagram just with the Rolex like skits and stuff. It took me a while to realize, like, oh, there's a lot more to Scott than just making some funny Rolex content, which is top tier content, by the way. And just watching. So now, like, kind of just talk about how you even got into, I'm going to start a watch brand. Like, how does one, because obviously we got started into this industry almost accidentally, just finding a job. But how does someone like you get into where you are today?
Yeah. So, I mean, not a lot of people actually know this, but the actual brand I actually started in 2015. So the brand's been like actually there and trademarked and stuff for quite a while. But basically what happened is in 2016, maybe 17, I was running the company whilst working a full-time job and just trying to obviously make that work. I was younger, so I was a little bit more possible. And I started getting hired by other companies, not watch companies, but just other e-commerce brands to help them with things like design and naming and trademarking and website, like pretty much everything from like a branding standpoint. And I found myself getting dragged away from this thing, which wasn't making any money. In fact, pretty much everything from my salary and the loan was going into trying to build this watch company. I had zero money. I was a 25-year-old with no fucking clue who I was or anything, right? I was 25. And then I get to a point where now, like 10 years later, basically, I've been running that branding agency for like 10 years, basically, and I kind of have a much better idea of how to run a business, how to manage my time, how to actually make a product. You know, man, it's just the experience that I needed, but it took 10 years to get back to this point where I was like, now I feel ready. Now I feel ready.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that's kind of the full story, but yeah, long old road, but I'm glad I'm back.
Well, that makes sense because, I mean, I opened this shop a little over 10 years ago, but I spent 9+ years working with another family business, and I tried to leave that business so many times because I hated it. But I remember thinking, like, I'm learning so much about what to do, what not to do. I'm learning all my lessons, the good, the bad, the ugly, while working for someone else, so that when it's my time to do my own thing, I know exactly what I want it to look like and not look like, which is, I think, is the important thing. But back to, so you started a watch brand in 2015. Did you just wake up? Have you like just got into watches from an early age, or you just decided one day like I want to start a watch brand? Like, how does that even, like, that thought would never occur to me.
I think, I mean, if you, I mean, you guys are interested in watches, quite deeply. Like that rabbit hole, we're not even sure how most people get there. Like we just kind of become like fascinated with these things. Some people have these incredible stories of like, their grandfather passes them a watch and, blah, blah, blah. I don't have that, to be honest. I can't even explain properly or even comprehend why I'm interested in them. I do really like design. I like the fact that they're so kind of little and sort of delicate in a lot of cases, and there's a lot of opportunity to really express design because there's materials, there's textures, there's how the light play kind of works with the different metals, the different brushings, the different polishings, all that stuff. I like that. I like really challenging things, and watches as a vehicle is kind of like the most expressive way to kind of be creative, in my opinion. So it's like a painter. It's like a painter or a musician. Watches are kind of a vehicle of expression for me, and I also like the fact of doing research and understanding, what customers actually want and making a product from start to finish that goes from an idea of how to make the perfect Garter watch to actually bringing it into reality, and even doing the stupid things like quality checks. like doing that and like being through the full process. I like building stuff. And I feel like building a watch company in today's market where there's so much competition, because I actually had that conversation with myself and on people on Reddit. Do you guys spend much time on Reddit?
I actually don't. I always wish that I would, but I never go on Reddit. I should more often though.
I feel like I've lost them at the perfect time when I asked the question. Do you know what happened there? Do you know what literally just happened there?
Well,
I asked the question of, do you
go ahead.
still recording and stuff? So do we need to like redo the recording?
No,
we're good.
We're good. This is all going to be so. Right now, we have currently the running joke here is we are having so many internet issues in our shop, and every time I think I have it fixed, we find out that we don't. So after this, I'm about to go. I'm about to take care of this.
He's about to burn this whole place down.
I am. I'm about to burn it down.
So when
get
you
a
watch
router from this century.
So when you watch the recording, basically, I say, do you guys spend much time on Reddit? And then you guys just freeze. And then the first thing that pops in my mind is, like, you guys literally are just frozen, right? But it hasn't, like, dropped yet. And I'm just, like, thinking in my mind, I'm like, these guys might possibly be pulling the best practical joke in podcast history and just literally just pretending to freeze at a certain time just to fuck with me. So when you actually edit this, that's what my mind is going through, just so you know.
I don't know how much of that part is going to be saved, but
Oh man, I hope it is.
So okay, so because I see that you are doing live YouTube videos, you're doing podcast episodes, and your setup is so professional and pristine.
Yes,
and it's like I'm envious because I mean the truth is like we're running a jewelry store. And so I just don't have the time to like I'm doing some research on like, hey, what can I do to make everything better? But then I'm like, okay, well, I'll read this later. I have to finish these repairs and finish these watch batteries and get back to work. And so by the time the next week comes around, I'm like, oh man, I didn't like figure out what I should do and how I should do it differently. Could I edit this differently? And then so I'm like taking it baby steps and just like, I'll figure it out as I go. So we're a work in progress. I apologize.
To be honest, like actually getting like a setup, I've had tons of different setups, and this is probably like the best one that I've had. It is an absolute, because I'm not like a photography or video guy. Like it's literally just trial and error all the way. And man, like this is still like not like where I want it to be, but it's like better than what I had before basically. But man, your setup's fine. It is a ball ache though, like because if you don't know, you don't know, and you've got a million other things to take care of. So it's like if it works, it's a video, whatever. And most people don't even care anyway when it's a podcast. They're not even looking at it. They're just chilling.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
listening to it while they're whatever. So who cares?
That's
But
true.
yeah, the audio's great.
Yeah. When we started the podcast, it was audio only for months and months, and I got really deep into like making our voices and just the sound and the crispness. But then once we started introducing video, it was like all that just went to crap, and it was like, you get what you get, everybody. This is it.
That's it.
What I wanted to do is when we disconnected, what I should have done is moved all this out, because I am going to eventually break out this beautiful masterpiece that we have here. But anyway, just back to the casual conversation. Oh yeah, you were talking about Reddit. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us really.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen certain topics. Like if I'm researching something, it'll always pop up some Reddit feed. But yeah, I'm not like a member or contributor at all.
Yeah, so the thing that I love about Reddit is Reddit's just like a cesspit of truth. Like there's people on there without profile pictures, and they just say whatever the fuck they want. Some of it's valid, some of it not so much.
Sure.
So
Sure.
when I went on there, I literally still remember I posted, because I had a little bit of money like in a couple of little like investments. Like when I say that it sounds a lot bigger than it is, I'm talking like like maybe 10 grand or something, which could probably buy like a half decent watch. It was in like a couple of daft little index stocks. Like it's nothing too crazy. And I just asked on Reddit for some reason, because I was bored. I was like, should I sell all of my investments and just start a watch company and just see what the fuck happens? Should I just do that? Because I'm kind of bored of like working with clients and like working as a branding consultant, because I haven't really got any skin in the game. Do you know what I mean? Like I just tell people what I think they should do, and then they just go, and then that company fails or succeeds, whatever. Mostly fails because people generally like don't really listen to me. Like they just think, oh, who the fuck does this guy? Like he doesn't even know anything. He's just a branding consultant who I paid for a few ideas. So when I was on Reddit, pretty much every single comment was like, you're a fucking idiot. You're going to lose all of your money. It's the worst idea in the world. how is your watch going to stand out? And then there was just one guy that said, do you know what it is? You're probably going to fail, but your son's going to see you as someone who actually follows his dreams and wants to get shit done. And that's the only comment that I needed. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So then I literally sold them that night and just started ordering prototypes and stuff. I literally remember talking to my wife and saying, should we do this? And she was like, do what? She just woke up. She's like, do what?
This thing I've been thinking about for
You
the
know.
last 5 years,
Yeah. I need to remember that my wife
So
does
how
not give a
does-
shit about watches.
How does that process work? So are there companies that make certain prototypes and you just bring them in and pick what you want? Or how does it work?
There's tons of different ways to do it. How I do it is definitely, probably it's the only way I know, so I'm not really sure if it's the right way or the wrong way, but it works for me. So I basically went to Alibaba and basically made like a sheet of all of the best suppliers and kind of watch the best ones with the best reputation, basically, which are mostly in either Guangzhou, Dongguan, or Shenzhen, which is all kind of in the south of China, right? So they're all kind of together. They're about an hour's drive, 2 hours drive away from each other. So I basically flew there and just met with them and sort of seen who gave me the best vibe, and also checked out the watches that are actually in their showrooms and in their presentation kind of cases and stuff. And from then, I basically selected 2, which I felt the most confident with. And that was basically how I found them. And then from there, that's how we kind of developed the relationship and, just started working together.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that does sound like it would be a super fun process.
Yes.
But I also am aware of, like, if I was on Reddit and saw your question, I would want to say
definitely-
both. I would want to say this is the stupid idea, but then like the dad part of me and just the human side and the guy who has a business here is like, but that is truly kind of more how I feel. But I'm more tempted to prep other people for the potential disaster and be like, no, don't do it, because anything watch related over the years we've gotten to, because truth be told, like the reason we've been so, what's the right word? We've gotten so frustrated, irritated with watch clients in general, because they're just a different breed of clients. Now, granted, we're not dealing with Rolex clients and Patek clients. We're dealing with just the average run of the day. I need my battery changed so I can get back to life. And they're just a different breed of people.
They really are. It's kind of amusing because we can tell immediately in our parking lot walking to our door a watch customer.
It's crazy.
And they have a vibe, and they have there's a demeanor, and there's almost like a box you can fit them in.
Yeah,
And they all have it. And I think it's it goes to that rabbit hole that you were discussing earlier. It's like people, it really, a certain person is attracted to watches in a deep way.
It's like addicts, right? Like you can tell who the addicts are. Like if you're walking through like Ellie or something, you can probably tell like who the addicts are. Watch people are the same. You can tell you're like, yeah, he's got a problem. He's probably broke. Nice watch, but he's broke.
Dude, one of the best pranks we've ever pulled. So for a brief time, we were doing these prank phone calls to jewelry stores, and we would have other jewelers recommend, like, "Hey, you got to call my buddy. He works with me. He'll think this is funny." And somebody had us call like a big chain. And what happened was the recording. I forgot to hit record, and I was like 30 minutes into a conversation. I got a hold of the watch guy at one of these big chain stores. And he actually, it was funny enough, like he was really into watches, but he worked, he was selling like basically like tags was probably like they had just gotten tag removed from their shop. And but he was like geeking out. I was just asking him the nerdiest, like most niche questions, and he was just eating it up. But then he started talking to me about micro brands. And I mean, would you consider yourself a micro brand?
Yeah, like micro brand independent. Yeah, I would say so.
I think that's a whole nother world. My Facebook account must know that we were going to have a conversation, because now I've been getting recommended to join all these micro brand watch groups, and I haven't joined them, but I'm really tempted to, just because I want to see what it's like. And I'll be honest, you're my first experience with purchasing or owning a micro brand, so I was excited to watch the process and the emails that you sent, and all the steps into it, and just you cataloging your experience and your attention to detail. It was fascinating to me. I think that's what sets micro brands apart.
Yeah, I was talking to Sam from Casual Watch Reviews like a week or two ago, and I said like one of the most powerful things that micro brands have is they don't have resources for tons of advertising or marketing. They don't have massive profit margins, but what they do have is a level of transparency which can really build trust quite quickly. Obviously, if you actually let people in. And that's ultimately what a brand is. If we really kind of boil it down to it, it's you create this little world and then you invite people into that world. And if they like it, they'll stay. And if they don't, they'll piss off and go somewhere else, do somewhere else that they like, right? So that's kind of the whole thing of what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm probably one of the most flawed people on the fucking planet, to be honest. But I'm just trying to show people and kind of take people through the journey. And has it been all sunshine and rainbows and everything's went perfect and every single order's went there, without any hitches? Most certainly not. But I'm learning a lot, and I'm not trying to sell perfection. I'm trying to sell authenticity, and that's what I'm kind of running with. And some people like it, some people don't, but that's me. So
I think what you just said speaks perfectly into a lot of what we do, because a lot of times we're speaking to jewelry store owners or bench jewelers and people who work at jewelry stores. And I think that is what, I think that's what everyone is looking for, because even on your own social media for your store, or exactly what we're doing, we're just putting ourselves out there. And it's exactly what you said, Scott. It's that transparency, and you're just inviting people into your world. And I think that's what you've nailed it, because your authenticity of you just being you is what kind of like, hey, well, what is this Emerton Scott watch all about? And I mean, I want to go ahead and kind of get into that a little bit. So I appreciate you sharing that with me. But I'll be honest. So several years ago, I ended up trading another jeweler friend with. He ended up getting an old Air King. I think it was a 1983 Rolex Air King, because I came to the conclusion that I'm probably not ever going to get on a Rolex waiting list to buy one. But maybe I can afford it by the time it was my turn to buy one. I don't know. But and I wore that watch for a very long time, just because I think mainly because it was a Rolex and I felt cool wearing it. But it was a little bit smaller model. I'm not sure what the millimeter is on that. Well, then I got to eventually this popped up. This is just I have to do some B-roll in the editing, but it's just like a Citizen, one of the newer automatics, just the green dial. I just really loved it. I forgot what this model is called, but what I loved about it, here, let me take it off, is I started wearing this every day as like my everyday watch, because it's just so comfortable. It's just a comfortable watch to wear. I'm just wearing it at work. Nothing crazy, but the band was very comfortable, and I love the color green. And so when I started seeing you talk about your watch, which I'm going to get out here, I'm going to make a mess here. See, that was the little bit of, it's hard to see here. I got my hand, little part that got torn, which I don't really care. Yeah. The box is beautiful, by the way.
And listen to the pre-show banter to get an idea of the packaging and why it got torn.
Yeah. But when you were showing the watch, dude, I love this. It's almost too fancy for me to operate. But the bracelet, when you're talking about just the comfort of the bracelet and how it's cut. Make sure I got it upside down. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me so much of the watch that I'm wearing every day. And it's not this big, bulky watch. And the attention to detail on the clasp is amazing. I'll try to do some some B-roll of this when we get it on there. And I almost went with the green dial, because I have something about a green dial that I just, for some reason, fell in love with. But I ended up going with the black. And like I said, we'll show some B-roll of this. But I think it's just a beautiful watch. I mean, I got sucked right in watching you go through the process of, how thick it was, how wide it was, how the detail on the Brad, you'll have to give me the proper terminology here on the little pendulum.
The rotor or the oscillating weight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Brad, you were checking it out, and you were asking questions when I first opened it, and we're like, wonder what kind of movement it has in there. And so, I mean, this is your time to shine, Scott, to talk about this watch, what version it is, how it came to be, the price point. I mean, you can really sell our audience on exactly what I'm holding here.
Yeah, so I would love to sell the watch and say how much great value it is and that you should buy one, but I haven't actually got any left, so I can just be as honest as possible. So the actual entire reason that I wanted to design that watch is I tried to buy a Rolex, and then obviously I had that little episode, which obviously meant I couldn't buy a Rolex, and I ended up randomly buying a Tissot PRX, and
Okay.
I was looking at the Tissot PRX after like a couple of weeks of having it, and I still like it, but I basically just found like it felt a little bit unloved. Like I felt like it was designed or made to meet a quota, like a designer inside Tissot has been like, I need you to design the new watch, but these are the limitations in regards to how much it costs to make, and this is roughly how much we're going to sell it for. And I just
Right.
thought, like out of curiosity, I was like, how much does it actually cost to actually make a watch of that standard? Like with all the bells and whistles and stuff. So I literally made a spreadsheet of every single kind of Garda watch from all of the kind of brands, anywhere between kind of 200 to like 1,500 quid. And then I was like, do you know what it is? It might actually be possible here to make something that really competes well in the industry. Like a beautifully designed like rotor and like crown and everything just like perfect in regards to proportions, even with the Evermont Gen 2, for example, with the little kind of warning ring around the crown, like just little tiny details that real enthusiasts like will like appreciate, and that's actually practical. I was like, you can probably do that for around 600 quid, like around $800. Why is no one doing it? Like I would literally buy that watch straight away. So it was kind of like my own need of having a watch which kind of had all the bells and whistles, but also kind of wasn't too loud and was kind of a little bit more conservative and kind of confident in its own skin, so you can give it lots of wrist time. A lot like your watch, like where it's just like really subtle but just really nice. It isn't super loud, although the dial's like really colorful and really bright and nice, but it's just like cool, confident, and just relaxed. Like really conservative, because I'm boring as fuck, so it
Yeah.
kind of suits me down to the ground. And that's kind of what I went for. And I feel like a lot of people kind of appreciate those little details.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, it's fun for people who are into watches to look at the Rolexes and the Pateks, and we can, the APs, and you can go on and on and on forever. But those watches are so unattainable to so many people. And so for a lot of people like us, we talked about, we see watch customers every single day. And most people, like I would say 99.9% of our clients that come in that need a watch serviced, or they got a new watch, they need it sized, or it needs a new battery that they got, like the nicer watches we see are under 2,000, and mostly probably under 1,000, because for just the average, I'll say average American, I'm not sure who's watching this wherever they are in the world, but if they get a nice tag or a nice Tissot or something like that. Let's not even get started on Invicta, but that, for some people, to get a nice watch is like, hey, I'm going to spend, maybe I got to keep it under $1,000. To see that there are micro brands that can say, hey, for under that price point, we're going to put way more effort and detail and consideration and thought than these big massive brands, I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure that has a lot to do with not just your brand, but every micro brand, and in creating something that you can take a lot of pride in, and it not cost $10,000 or $5,000 for that matter.
Yeah, like you've mentioned yourself that you're not really sort of super tapped into the micro brand space yet, although as soon as you get into those groups, I think that's going to change quite a bit. There are so many great micro brands out
Not
there.
doing it.
So many great micro brands out there. I would actually advise not joining any of those communities because you will waste a shit ton of time. So do not.
That's what I
join
need.
any of them.
Another hobby is all that I need right now.
Yeah,
Another
there's
thing to get into.
So many great micro brands. So many incredible independents, and I think the great thing about it is, for a customer standpoint, is you've just got so much opportunity now, and they're kind of learning more about what things are actually worth. Like, no longer can a brand say, oh, we're upping the price now of this watch by $2,000 because we're doing this or we're improving that or we're using, I don't know, a different steel. It's just absolute marketing bollocks in 99% of cases, and it's just ridiculously, ridiculously disrespectful to the customer, because before, if they put an advert out, you couldn't check it. Like, there wasn't that many kind of, places to go. There wasn't anything to compare with. Now, you can
Yeah.
you can look at two watches with, fairly comparable movements. Yes, maybe one's got a slightly more prestigious brand name on the front of the dial, but you can compare kind of like for like. Okay, this one's out of this one's out of this one has this movement, this one has this is the accuracy of this is cost, and you can kind of be like, wait a second, why am I spending $5,000 more on this one when this one's $1,500? Doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of the beautiful thing about micro brands and independence now. People can still buy, Tag and Rolex and Vacheron Constantin, whatever. Like, I don't care what people buy. As long as they're happy and they're wearing the watches, I couldn't care less. Be happy, wear what you like, and be confident wearing it. But be educated in what you're actually buying. Because, when you're paying for a watch with your hard-earned money, it's probably, in most cases, unless you've got more money more money than you know what to do with, you're probably buying it for a reason, right? Like, you've got like a milestone, or like for me, for example, I wanted to buy one when I first became a dad. That's why I wanted to get a Rolex. For most people, that's the case. Like, like us, right? I don't want to be disrespectful, but we're just average guys, right? We're fathers, whatever, and that's the most important stuff. I don't want to be spending $20,000 on a product which isn't necessarily worth that amount. Yes, it's worth it, but is it worth it really when I could actually spend $2,000 and put that $18,000 towards my kids or a holiday or, I don't know, anything else? That's kind of where it kind of sits a little bit unright with me, but that's just my opinion.
And so many of the more larger brands, so much of the money you're giving to them is going to advertising, and it's going to the corporate structure, the shareholders. And Dusty and I are both into bourbons, and so or beers. Before that, it was beers, but the more independent, the more craft you get, it just opens your eyes to see what's actually available.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. I think the thing we can notice here is something like a micro watch brand is very similar to an independent jewelry store, or like we said, the craft distilleries that do bourbon.
Sure,
is people. I think people are starting to notice in general, but with the watch brands, we're all starting to figure out we're paying for marketing, and I think this is where micro brands and independent jewelry stores are beginning to. I think we're entering like the best time to do it. Yeah. I know, like, everything's expensive now, fill in the blank. But we have such an opportunity because, for one, the authenticity, the behind the scenes, but also just we can strip away because we have big box retailer jewelry stores, in a couple towns over. And it's like they have the same product that we have.
Right.
And it's like, and people are amazed that we can compete with them. I'm like, yes, because they have a different level of overhead to maintain than we do. And so I'm starting to see that correlation just talking with you, Scott. Like, the micro bands are the same thing. It's like, hey, the quality of the watch is the same, but we're doing it at a third of a fraction of the price. And you still get that. And maybe with even more intentionality and more detail and more.
Definitely.
And so I think it's a cool thing for the industry as a whole, because the watch and jewelry industry sometimes they're always connected in some way.
Yep.
Even though they are two separate, worlds to some degree. But I think it is and you talking about, kind of building your watch brand, and I think is the future of watches. And I think that's why custom jewelry is such a big part of a jewelry store's business and our business, is because people want to be part of the process. And they want to see what you can do when you take your time and create something that is meant to celebrate a moment, like you said, like the birth of your son, or a promotion, or fill in the blank. I mean, all this stuff is just connected to, which we talk about on this show all the time. It's connected to people, and it's connected to memories. And it's nice and refreshing when you see a brand or a store or a shop take the time to take that seriously and not market you to death and know what you're paying for. Sorry, that was a little bit of a ramble, but
No, super valid though. And the thing is as well, so if you actually want to put like, well, first and foremost, when we're talking about creating a product, right, you can tell as a human, even if you have zero experience in jewelry, in watches, in leather crafts, you can look at something 99% of the time and you can see if something's been developed and created with passion, which a lot of micro brands are, because let's face it, you don't really make a shit ton of money starting a micro brand. Trust me, I know, right? And then you can also compare that with kind of the corporate sort of, TISOP PRX, where I'm not shitting on the TISOP PRX, but what I'm trying to say is one of them is a passion project and the other one is a corporate development, right?
Yes,
and
correct.
You can tell the difference between the two. You can feel the difference between the two. And the second thing is, how much are we actually paying for marketing and for the boutique when we're actually paying, 10 grand for a watch? I know that because one, I've been a branding consultant and I've ran advertising campaigns on Meta and Facebook for so many e-commerce companies. And I know that on average, around 30% is going to the boutique. And that's from an actual Rolex AD manager, right? Who actually ran a boutique and many other boutiques for other brands. So around 30% is going straight into their pocket. And then on top of that, around on average, if a company in pretty much any sector wants to advertise a product to you, depending on how much it costs, obviously, that can generally cost between 20 to 30% of the actual product's actual value, right? So if a product is 10 grand, you're probably going to spend about 2 grand in regards to advertising, whether that be billboards or meta ads or whatever. So that's why when we're looking at these watches, I actually broke it down on my channel on YouTube a little while ago. How much does a Rolex Submariner actually cost to make? And I broke it down step by step. And
Oh, wow.
a lot of people who actually own a Rolex Submariner didn't fucking like that. But I couldn't care less.
I'm sure.
Right.
I couldn't care less. I'm not here to try and make anyone happy. I'm here to try and showcase what I think, in my humble opinion and my experience, is the truth. And people might like that and people might not. I was on the list for a Rolex Submariner. If someone called me and said, "Do you want a Rolex Submariner?" It would be a tough thing to reject. But do you know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
It's an iconic watch. But I'm just telling you how much it probably costs to make, given what I know. And people should know that. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy the watch. You should probably still buy the watch. We'll probably still always buy, like expensive watches because fuck it, why not? But it's that whole thing of, know what you're paying for. And if you're happy with that, then spend it. If you've got the money, do it. Whatever. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, that's what we try to remind ourselves every day, and we all should in this. It's a luxury business. What people want to spend on things is their business.
Sure.
Who am I to say that you should or should not? $10,000 for one person is not $10,000 to the next person. And so, hey, I'll be honest, if I just had it sitting around and the same thing, if somebody just said, "Hey, you want to buy the Submariner?" and it was just sitting here, I'd be like, "Yep, I sure would." I mean, I'm not going to lie to myself and be like, "No, I would never." Oh, I absolutely would. I would in a second. I'm not lying.
What's that thing? There's like a meme or something in it. It's like, everybody hates Rolex until they call, and then they're just like, I actually want. I was actually like hoping that happened because pretty much every single video on my channel, like people, there's like a couple of guys who always comment on pretty much every single video saying, "Fuck you, you just bit because Rolex didn't call you back and stuff," and I'm like, listen,
A little bit.
you've all got a point, okay? You've all got a point. Like, it's true what you're saying, but can you just not like tell people about it and just like let me just record a video? But when they do call, that could be a funny video. That could be a good little turnaround.
Yeah, you're going to have to tell them, say, "Please hold it," and you're going to have to get your camera ready and get the mics out.
Yeah.
I got to document this process.
Actually, I had a Rolex. So the thing that pissed me off about Rolex, and I know we always kind of come back to Rolex, bless them, but the thing that pissed me off about Rolex wasn't the wait time or anything like that. It was when I got a message from, and I've still got the message on my phone somewhere on WhatsApp. One of the salespeople said, "I can get you your mint green dial Datejust, but you have to buy this watch first." That was the turning point for me where I was like,
Oh, wow.
okay, even if I do this, I've got the money there to do it if I wanted to, but if I did do this, even if I did get the watch that I wanted, it would be associated with like this unethical thing. Like I'm not like worthy of it. I had to
I
play a
agree.
game to get it. And I don't know, like maybe to other people maybe they wanted another watch from the likes of Tudor and the other brands that that particular group represented, but I wasn't interested in any of those brands. They're obviously the brands that have the super high profit margins, and I just wasn't willing to do that. My values were just like, nah, like if you do this, you're going to regret it, and I didn't do it.
That's a little shady.
Dude, I don't know, that
Oh,
that
I don't like
annoys
that.
annoys me to no end that they would even, like, I'm trying to think, when, like, imagine you just get a job working in like a jewelry store that's a Rolex AD, and you have to look someone in the eye, or I guess make the phone call. Hey, we got that watch you've been waiting on, but before I can sell it to you, you need to buy these other things that you never wanted and didn't ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like I don't even know if I could do it. I really don't.
Yeah, that's
Men's do the same
Who's
thing.
the
though,
guy?
man.
Go ahead. No, y'all go ahead. Who's the guy? Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy. You've had him. You've talked to him before. I'm gonna lose my mind here. Hot Horology. I forgot his name.
Oh, just
Justin.
hot
Yes.
horology. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
dude, so we found out he's actually somewhat local to us. So we're gonna have to have a conversation with him soon.
Nice.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Why are you guys talking about watches so much all this?" It is interesting.
our new
'cause
thing.
We have a love-hate relationship with the watch industry.
Yeah, Justin's a legend. But Hermes do the exact same thing. I literally have video content of me going into Hermes and literally asking them point blank, how much do I need to spend in this store to get a Birkin bag for my wife? And she literally gave me a figure on the spot in Bangkok, this woman. And I was just like, at least she's honest. Like, at least she's just telling me, like, this is what the situation is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was never going to actually buy my wife a Birkin bag, but that's not the point. It's kind of just the whole...
Yeah, it's the point of how they do business. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it's one of those things too where they do it because they can, and it's obviously working. Sorry, Brad had to pick up a UPS package.
That's all right. That's
We
all right.
have and then we have to make sure nobody sees what we're doing in here. Everything good, Brad?
Yeah, everything's
Okay. But yeah, I mean, they do it because they can. I mean, I don't know if you are someone who enjoys, any type of whiskey or bourbon, but because we got into bourbon, like the big brands do this.
the exact same
They
thing.
do a similar thing. It's like, hey, we've got this rare release, and it's going to be this inflated price tag, and it's going to have this fancy packaging. But then when you compare it, I mean, it's just a liquid that's set in a barrel, and you compare it to something that another small craft distillery did, or even one of their own products that is, a lower tier, and you're like, they kind of taste not that much
Right.
different,
Right.
Because it's just liquid in a wood barrel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and they do it because they can, because people will say, "Oh, well, I'll
Yep.
buy the $400 bottle," even though it's not that much better than the $50 bottle, and it's just all these things are luxury items, and so if the people that have the money to spend will continue to spend it, then it will continue to not change, sadly.
True.
Well, what is luxury, right? Like, we don't need any of these items, right? We don't really need bourbon, although I'm sure you guys would argue that you do. But
we have
don't
to
need
deal with
most
the public
expensive
every
bourbon.
day.
Yeah, it's
We need
one of those things where, listen, life's hard, we work hard, and we've got a little bit of spare resources, and we want to make ourselves feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Just enjoy your life and spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. And listen, brands are allowed to treat customers the way that they want. That's their prerogative, right? If you come into someone's house, come into someone's world, someone's boutique, you can treat customers how you want. But, and this is a big but, I've studied brands for 10 years because I've had to, because that's been my business. And the amount of companies that haven't taken care of their customers and ended up on the receiving end of it many, many years later, the exact same thing is going to happen to Rolex. And let me explain why. Rolex right now is literally taking every single person who actually understands and knows about watches, like really, really gets watches, and also people who maybe just don't really understand watches or care too much about them, but know somebody who does. And what is every single person saying about Rolex right now? The wait list is a joke, everything's a joke, blah, 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 blah. And what's going to happen is over time, there's going to be a kind of a turn in the road, right? There's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. And something's going to happen where Rolex starts to need the customers a little bit more than they do now. And it's already starting to happen. It's already starting to happen. And I mean, you guys tell me, right? If you've been asking the hot girl out for a year or 2 years or 5 years or whatever, and then all of a sudden she texts you in the middle of the night, are you awake? Like, what's up? You're going to say, listen, bitch, I've moved on. Do you know what I mean? Like that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's just a matter of time. And when it does happen, you know, I don't want to be salty, but I'm going to be in the front seat with my popcorn and I'm going to enjoy every second of it because they deserve it.
No.
Yep.
They deserve it. I've emailed them. I've told them. I've emailed HQ and they do not care less because they're making money.
Yep.
Why would they listen to a little stupid YouTuber who just has a little daft watch company? I probably wouldn't listen either. But they'll see. They'll see soon enough.
Yep.
Nope.
I think you're absolutely correct, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, obviously we've talked about bourbon a few times, but what you're describing is because we can compare it to different industries is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Is everything is not a rare release. Not everything is, you know, ultra rare unicorn status to where and inflate a price. And so now we're seeing, you know, over in the States, like this market is just dropping drastically. And now all of these things that were, you know, hard to get and, you know, people were just like Rolex paying secondary prices. Now they're just kind of sitting on the shelf for a little bit longer. And people are like, and they put them out and they're like, and we're like, nah, I'm actually not interested anymore. I've moved on. Exactly what you just said.
And it's because I think a lot that contributes to it is the communication now that people have with each other, whether it's Reddit or Discord or Instagram.
Social media.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you know, in my market now we're seeing these. So just wait and
it's such a
kinda
level playing field now.
Yeah,
Even
right.
in the jewelry store industry, it's like, hey, people come here, and for us to create a custom ring, and then the client maybe goes to another store, whether it's a big box store or not, the pricing is very similar in some. It's not like there's this crazy discrepancy in pricing.
Sure.
It's, hey, I actually just kind of liked dealing with you guys, and I liked the vibe, and I liked how you guys made me feel, and it wasn't super uptight because we don't wear suits at work as if we're at Rolex. And I'm not bashing on stores that have a level of prestige or
that are
professionalism,
professional.
because some people come in here and they're just like, it feels a little too casual for me
Right,
to be
sure,
spending, you know,
sure.
$10,000 on a ring. And to each their own. Everybody, you know, there's plenty of business to go around for. There's plenty of wrists in the world for micro brands, for the big brands, etc.
Really great guy who I read a ton of his books when I was younger, called Seth Godin, and he said something which I'll never forget, right? He said, people like us do things like this, and it's literally the exact same meaning as what I mentioned before of kind of, as a brand and as a company, you create your world. The people who want to be there will stay, and the people who do not will go somewhere else. It's literally as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That
you
is
create
great.
your world. The worst thing in the world is if you create something which you're not comfortable in yourself, and then you want to leave. That's impossible to live
Yeah.
with. So yeah, and man, like, I had a conversation with a couple of some of the best micro brand owners, like, I think around at this point, like doing like the best level stuff from Europe and the UK in Geneva when I was there for Watch and Wonders, and they all said and gave me the exact same advice: do what you want. Don't worry about what the market thinks. Do what you want, and your customers will find you, and they'll appreciate you, and they'll help you build something really special. And that was like a little turning point where I was like, okay, maybe I need to do less research and just focus on what I think's best. And it's the same with every business. Whatever you think's best, try it. If it doesn't work, then, you know, just keep working it out, and eventually you'll get somewhere where you're happy with it, and your customers will be happy with it. It's as simple as that.
It's great advice.
Man, I think it's great advice. It's great advice just to be a human on this planet, but it's also great business advice. And if you're in designing jewelry, watches, starting something, it's just great advice. I know we don't have all the time in the world. I'm assuming I forgot you're in Thailand currently. Is this like bedtime for you? Okay,
This
so
is
you'll be going to bed
kind
soon.
of like early afternoon for me. So it's actually 9 p.m., but I
Okay.
literally woke up at, yeah, because I had another podcast yesterday, and on my YouTube channel, we said, oh, yeah, we'll have a chat for like half an hour. And, 2 hours later, we were still like, oh, shit, we probably should go. So that's basically how it went. So I've got all the time in the world, guys. I'm enjoying it. So, yeah, just dive into whatever. I know you guys obviously have to open the store and stuff. So whenever you guys want to go, I'm cool with that.
Actually, this is why we started doing these on Monday, because on Mondays we are closed. We come in so that we can record episodes, especially if we have a guest. We don't have a time limit. And also, as soon as we hang up, I just was on vacation for a week. So I came in and set up the podcasting stuff, but I don't even know how many repairs or watch batteries, or I'm surely Brad had to do all the watch batteries last week without me around.
I sure did.
How many watch batteries you did last week?
Oh, so many. Especially, Tuesday's the first day we're open, and that's when all the migration comes in.
It's amazing how many people's watch batteries die on the weekend when we're closed. Because when we open on Tuesday, it's like watch battery central. It's insane.
I love it how
Brad,
Dusty's just sitting there. I love it how Dusty's just sitting there with these beautifully tanned knees, and Brad's just like, can't fucking wait for Tuesday.
Dude, tomorrow's going to suck
Right.
so bad. But today,
Right.
Mondays are, we have set up a world, like you said, you set up a world that you want to live in to where we don't hate Mondays. Mondays, we get to come in, we lock the door, the lights are off, we record some content, we do our repairs with the phone turned off, no customers interrupting, and we have a great time. That's the world we've created, and we don't take life too seriously. We didn't really get a chance to talk about it, Brad, but because Brad I joked and said he was a recovering watchmaker, and we have a few people that listen, like David, who are doing heavily involved in watch repairs. So Brad, I feel like Scott would enjoy hearing just what you hated most about doing watch repairs.
Oh man, where do I get started? Let's see. The customers. No.
I mean, that's a big part of it.
Bro, he's honest.
Well,
he's honest. He's as honest as they come.
yeah,
Transparent.
honestly, parts, trying to get parts, because obviously there's a lot of aftermarket parts and generic parts that you would try to fit into, and especially with the Rolex, you don't want to do that, and the ones that are made are never good. So you're having to go through back sources to try to get, a pinion or a stem or something, and that whole process takes forever, and so you go from telling the customer, okay, if this is just a simple service, this is going to be a 2-week job. But then you get into it, and now I have to source 3 parts that I didn't realize I had to do. Now it's a 2-month process, and
they are not happy about it.
They are not happy, and I can understand that, and it's frustrating.
They don't realize it's just as frustrating for us.
Oh,
it ain't like
100%.
we're taking some pride in dragging this out for 2 months
Right.
without getting paid.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
and you would have certain, the watch customers are fantastic and hilarious at the same time. It's you will have customers that, as long as their watch is within 30 seconds, a year, they're fine, or whatever. They don't really care. And then you have the guy who's, I've been cross checking this with my my cell phone, and it's losing 1 second over the past 2 months. Can you adjust that? And it's like, I mean, you can, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, technically, yes.
So it was a frustrating. I love watches. I love the technical part of them. I love the mechanical part. It's basically like putting Legos together all day. I love that part. But just the frustrations that come from everything else.
You talking reminded me of
wears you
2
down.
things. 2, I've known Brad for 20-something years. I've never seen him wear a watch.
No, I don't wear watches.
Maybe we can change his
PTSD,
mind,
innit?
Scott.
Correct.
I'm on the opposite end. If I leave my house and I'm 10 minutes away from my house and I look and realize I left my watch at home, I will turn around and
You
go back
will.
because it will
Yep.
drive me insane if I don't have a watch on. But the interesting thing is, when I leave the house, it's the last thing I put on, or unless I forget, I turn around and go grab it. But pretty much as soon as I get home, I take my watch off. It's like, I was about to say, it's like a woman taking her bra off after work. It's like, I just got to get it off my wrist. Let
Yeah, and then
myself
after you
loose a
take your
little
watch
bit.
off, then after you take your watch off, Dusty, you've actually got to take your bra off, so you get two. You double whammy. It's all good.
Yes,
You beat
exactly.
me to it, man. That's fantastic.
What kind of watches do you actually like, Brad? Though, like, if you were to wear a watch, like, what would you kind of go for, like, in terms of like diameter and stuff, or do you just absolutely hate them?
Something this size, honestly.
Yeah.
I should have said
If
like
you-
an Invicta.
If you had to describe your
Something
perfect
massive.
watch, start describing this one.
Honestly, I don't even know, man. It's something, and it's weird because, like David is a good friend of ours. He's in Ohio and he does watch repairs, and he loves watches. And that's how he came into the industry. Is he loves watches first, then he started fixing it. For me, I never loved watches, so it was always just the building aspect of it that I loved. So, and I think that's why if you're somebody that came in loving watches first, you can kind of relate to the customer better.
Not Brad, boy.
No,
He's like, I don't get it. So, Brad, if you inherited a, vintage Rolex, would you wear it?
no, I would pass it down.
Yeah.
But and I would keep it, and I would keep it safe, and I would look at it on occasion and open it up on occasion. But no, maybe I would wear it on a nice,
Okay.
special event or something. But no, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't. I just cannot wear it. Like, it's just
You don't like it,
cumbersome
yeah.
to me.
But because we set watches all day, like I just like to look down and see what time it is when I'm.
So, do you wear your watch when you're not working?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. It's just part of. It's like my wedding band now. I just have to wear it.
That's cool.
Just part of life. A funny story that I don't think we ever told on the show before, because you're just asking what kind of watches Brad likes, but Brad's wife worked in the jewelry industry for a long time, and one of the watches when I first got into jewelry and watches that I was dying to have was a Hamilton, the Ventura. The one that came out when they made the Men in Black movie, when they reissued, I guess, the old one. And I purchased that watch from Brad's wife at a jewelry store. And to this day, it is still one of my favorite.
It's like the triangle,
Hold on, I might
sideways
have
triangle.
it. Do I have it on? Oh, I'm going to go grab it. I have it here. I have it on me somewhere. Y'all chat.
I'm just going to turn the icon down because I forgot that I said, like, super, super, super cold, and now my arse is freezing, so I'm just going to rock this down a bit. There we go. That should be a little bit better, hopefully.
Y'all laugh.
Perfect.
Nice. So what you missed,
Oh, look at
Dusty,
that.
is he turned the air down. Yeah, look at that. Like
Man,
retro style.
that is so cool, man. That is so cool.
To this day, one of the coolest watches. I'd never wear it unless I have to wear a suit, which is pretty much for a wedding or a funeral. It's about the only time I wear this watch. I love it. It's kind of small, but it fits so well. I'm gonna drop that. I know it. It's nothing too like. It's actually quite small compared to like a lot of watch. I know they've redone versions of this one now to where they're a little bit bigger.
You know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing Dusty fall in love with watches again.
Scott's got me so excited about watches again. I just love it so much. I'll wear this one for the rest of the episode.
That's banging. That watch is banging. But that's
You-
a
have
dress
you-
watch
are
that
you
you can't
familiar-
wear every day.
Yeah, are you familiar with this one?
I've never saw that watch in my entire life. I've never saw that watch, but now I'm
Really?
gonna check it out as soon as I've just noted it down. I'm gonna check it out when I come off this call.
Yeah, it's I think they have some bigger automatic versions now. They have a chronograph version,
I
but
think it's a remake of the
yes.
first electric watch
Yes.
that they made.
Yeah,
and then it was big in the Men in Black movie. Was it 1 or 2? Or?
No, so it was the Hamilton, the original electric watch, and I think Elvis Presley made it famous back in the 50s. I don't know. And it went away, of course. And then for the Men in Black movie, they remade it or reissued it just for that first Men in Black movie. So when Will Smith is putting on like the Ray-Bans and all the suit and everything, the watch is like a prominent part of his wardrobe.
That's cool.
And I remember seeing it, and I was like, man, that is, because I've always had a thing for like that kind of retro. I'm kind of drawn to that retro kind of designs, which I think, Scott, your watch here, it's not, I wouldn't call it retro, but it definitely has like a classic, timeless look to it, which I think I'm always drawn towards. When companies and brands push the envelope of just weird and out there, like it doesn't really do much for me, but I can appreciate, and I'm finding this in jewelry too, when it's got this timeless, classic look to it. For some reason, it just draws me, and maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know.
That's
I love this clasp, man.
What's that?
This clasp is amazing.
Dude, I actually do like that clasp quite a bit.
You can tell a lot about a watch by its clasp. That's
hot take. You can tell a lot by watch by the clasp.
You sure can. Because even the it's got this. We'll just do a B-roll, but it's got the design on the inside as well that you're not going to see, that only the owner will see. Man, that's special. And the crown is, man.
Brad's going to get one.
Yeah, I might. This might.
So, Scott, on yours, is this... Sorry, you go first.
I was just about to say, because obviously you were mentioning about the logo being on the clasp and on the crown, and obviously it's on the dial as well. So the little thing about manufacturing a watch is the tiny little details, like getting those things right is the biggest ball ache ever. Like the biggest ball ache ever. I went through around, I think 5, maybe 6 different iterations of the logo being brought into like a 3D format, and every single one of them was terrible. I still have a couple of them on my phone, which I think I've shared them on Reddit before, and I showed them like this was the first one. This is the first one that they sent me. This is what we eventually got to after, I think it was like 8 months, just for that. But then once you get it, then it's done, then it's perfect. So I think that's kind of like something that people really kind of appreciate. Like it's one of the little details that, like if it's good, then no one really notices it. Like it's kind of just like a little subtle thing that you just kind of like enjoy, like silently.
Yeah.
But if it's bad and it's not done properly, you're like, wait a second, what's this crap on my watch type thing? Like it looks terrible.
Yeah.
But those are the tiny little things. That's just one thing. But there's so many other little details and stuff about the watch that, yeah, it would take me like a million years to go through. But yeah, I mean, it's on the actual rotor as well. It's everywhere. It's also on the actual bridge on the movement. There's a tiny little logo on there as well.
Oh yeah.
So it's like in 4 or 5 different places on the entire watch.
So
Now,
I see something on the clasp, and I'm gonna have Dusty look at it, that I've never seen in a watch before. It's on the side of the clasp.
the screws.
Screws.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever seen screws on a clasp either. This is the micro adjustment, I guess, huh? Yeah.
That is insane, man.
Now, I see on the buckle it says no, I'm an idiot. I saw on the clasp it says, I thought it said Vermont, and it says Evermont because the E, I couldn't see the first E, and I'm like, so what is Vermont? And I'm an idiot. I can't read.
He can't. He's taking classes.
I'll get there one day. So, okay, this is Gen 2, correct?
Yeah.
So you've already sold a batch of Gen 1s. Is that what I'm understanding?
February. So in February we launched the first Gen 1 and we sold 100 pieces. That was literally like the first design that I didn't even expect to sell any. When I first designed the watch, I just shared it on like Facebook, on Reddit, and eventually it got to a point where the design was like pretty good and people were like, can I actually buy one of these? How much are they? And I was like, I wasn't really kind of even wanting to start the company again. I was doing pretty well doing the branding consultancy stuff, and it was pretty low risk. But I guess I can do like a prototype. I mean, it's a prototype, a couple of grand. Let's have a little bit of fun. Worst case scenario, I'm with a watch that I really like and I can just wear it myself. I was going to spend that on a
Yeah.
Grand Seiko anyway. So I did it, and then I posted that, and then like the crazy thing is I was thinking about doing like a Kickstarter and like putting like loads of money behind like a marketing campaign. Guys, I'm not even lying, right? I put a link to my bank account, to the company's bank account, and I literally just sent an email out to all of the people that had been kind of signed up for, you know, the watch's release ultimately, or like, you know, who were interested in a prototype. I just collected a few emails. I sent out an email. I woke up the next day and like 70% of the 100 pieces were already fully paid for. Crazy.
That's
I could have been
crazy.
like
That's awesome.
a random African prince. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I could have been anybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I was like, I actually have to make this shit now. Like,
That's the worst.
that's literally what went through my head. It's like, fuck, people are giving me money for stuff, man. So then I actually had to, like, obviously get things rolling and fly to China and do all the quality checks and stuff. And we delivered all those in February. There's a whole story behind that, which is on my YouTube, which I won't go into because obviously just respect your guys' time. It's a long story. But then I started getting feedback from the customers, and then they give me more feedback. And I was like, okay, we've got to make it better. We've got to make it better. So I did it again. And then, and by the way, guys, this is zero marketing spend. I haven't spent a single cent. I think I did like a test for like 50 quid back in the early days of like trying to get emails. But I literally haven't spent anything on marketing, not a single penny, apart from that one little test.
That's awesome.
And all of the 300 pieces from the first 100 and the second 200 have all sold out, everything. And I've also got an email list of around, at the minute, I'm not sure how, a couple of thousand people who are basically like on the email list waiting for future models. I've got four collections altogether. And it's just crazy. And not a single penny spent on marketing, nothing.
That's great.
That is awesome, man.
So on this, this Gen 2 is there. So from what I understand, the first 100 is Gen 1, and then 101 to 300 is Gen 2, correct?
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of cool that you kind of in the ordering process you let me pick which number, which
that's
number
the
it is.
214.
So I got number 214 because my thought was I've never purchased a micro brand before, and again, a lot of this is I understand why you sold out so frequently because people have access to you. They see who you are and the time that you took to design it, and so it's like, hey, yeah, I'll send this dude some money, and but 214 is my oldest, so I have 5 kids. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. I've mentioned it on the show. I have 5 kids. My firstborn is our only girl, and then I have 4 boys. And so I just started thinking, I'm like, you know, at 4 boys, at some point in time, I would like to just hand them all a watch. And so my first son was born on February 14th. He was a Valentine's Day baby. And I'm like, you know, let's just get this watch. I'm going to wear it and enjoy it. I don't know if it's going to be an everyday watch. Time will tell. I'll report that back to you. But I thought worst case, if my son sees me wearing a watch like this and all my kids see the green watch and this watch, at some point you can just say, hey, I want you to have this watch, you know. And so I thought at some point this will be on, my son just turned, my oldest boy just turned, he's 11 and a half now. And so, you know, he's going to be a teenager in a few years. And who knows, there might be an occasion where I say, hey, I just want you to have this watch if you like it. Who knows? But that's why I picked 214.
No, that's nice.
Best feeling in the world.
So he's your favorite son?
So far.
So far.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite. So out of all of you, he's my favorite. So the actual entire reason why I actually got interested in watches, it's funny you say that actually, is when I used to live in London, I used to get a bus super, super early to work when I was worked in a different industry. And I used to see this same billboard on the way to work every single morning. And obviously I was 19 at the time, so I didn't know my arse from my elbow. Some days, you know, even though I'm 35 now, I sometimes feel the same way, but anyway, it's a different story.
Yeah.
And I used to see this Patek Philippe billboard with the whole kind of marketing spiel of you never really own a Patek Philippe, you always just keep it for the next generation or whatever it is. And that's what actually got me interested
wonderful
in watches.
marketing.
I was like, man, that is just fucking incredible, isn't it? Like, as an advertising message.
Yep.
Like, I hope
Yes.
whoever actually came up with that is just getting royalties from every single Patek Philippe that's being sold because he fucking deserves it. He or she deserves it. And that's what got me interested in it. So when I get I've got pictures of like you, fathers who are passing the watches on to their son and stuff. that is honestly some of the best shit. Like when I see that, I could be having the worst year in the world, but when I see that sort of stuff, I'm just like, yeah, like this is so cool, man. Like so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
That's awesome.
and it's the same with jewelry, and that's what we've talked about in here before. Like, it's on one hand, it's just a watch and it's just jewelry, but it is bigger than that, and it's not to make it weird, but it's, if someone comes in here and they have an old ring, and it's not really that great of a ring, but the person bringing it in is like, my mom wore this her whole life, and now I have it, and now I want to fix it up and get it sized so that I can wear it because it reminds them of them.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of, in some ways, it's kind of dark to think about because, if I give this watch to my son when he's 16 or 18 and I'm still alive and well and being a goofball, he won't think much of it. But I'm not going to live forever. And so I would like to think, and we know it's true, that when I am gone,
That's when
that
he can pawn it.
He can pawn it. He can look at it and say, I remember my dad wearing this watch and when he gave it to me,
Yeah.
Brad was just laughing over my heartfelt story. Now, if it was a Rolex, he probably would sell it and pawn it.
Oh, yeah,
but this
right.
is an Emerton Scott. He's going to keep it forever and ever.
Absolutely.
Obviously. And if he pawns it, he's not going to get
You don't
much for
own
anyway,
those.
so might as well keep it.
The pawn shop's going to be like, I'm not buying this. Keeping it, but you're keeping it, buddy. You got any Rolexes your dad passed you down?
Thing is as well, like
No,
if you actually think about like what you guys have just said about, kind of passing down objects and them having kind of like a sentimental value, right? And kind of like a connection to your past and stuff. Think about this. And this is kind of getting a little bit kind of into the geeky and kind of the neurology of branding, right? And what they kind of play with in regards to our brains, right? So think about this. When we have like a home cooked meal from like our parents or our gran or anything like that, they're not necessarily the best chefs, right? Unless you're Italian, then they probably are. But like, if you have their food, it kind of takes you back to your childhood, right? Like that, like a moment in time. My gran, who is probably the worst cook in the entire world, to a point where we have a thing in the UK called a Sunday dinner, which is basically like a roast dinner, right? She would put the meat in for the dinner like 5 days before or something. So it would basically cook for 5 days and it would be completely dry. But when you eat it, you just put enough gravy on there and it's, you get through it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Your teeth are
Yeah.
better for it afterwards. But I'll never forget that particular time because that's what I used to look forward to. Everyone around the dinner table, and the reason this is relevant is neurologically we connect that to comfort, to love, to all of these feelings, right? And we're all human.
Mm-hmm.
We are emotional creatures, right? Like we love stories. That's what kind of gets our brain lit up. And brands use that and tell these stories in a certain way to sell us stuff, to be capitalists. So that's that. It's powerful, man. It's powerful, and it's definitely not meaningless.
It really is.
It's important. It's super important.
Yeah, and it's it's why when we
You
talk.
crying? You started crying?
I got a little choked up. No,
Okay.
it's this weird balance of that we deal with in the jewelry industry when people do bring it, and they bring in this inherited ring that's absolute junk, and it's
Yeah.
just beyond repair, and it's a hard conversation to just say. I don't know how to nicely say this, but the ring is done. Like it's done. Or do you want us to recreate it or, try to refurbish it, but just know that it's now a special occasion ring, or maybe it's a ring that you put in your jewelry box and, think about every so often and take a look at. And I think that's still part of the process too, is being able to communicate that to people and to, understand that it is connected to a memory.
Yeah.
And to a loved one or a story. And, obviously that's sobering. But as professionals, we have to, do our job and explain and educate the client. So
Awesome,
anyhow,
man.
we just get into life now. We're not even talking watches and jewelry anymore. But I will say, Scott, on one hand, we do need to get to doing some work here. But I have truly enjoyed this conversation. I knew we would enjoy talking to you just from watching some silly reels on Instagram. But man, we appreciate you taking the time to do this. I appreciate you taking the time to design a watch that I think is absolutely awesome to someone who was just into watches enough to appreciate them and handle them, to know that you actually took a lot of time and detail in these. I think that's awesome. I'm proud to own one. I'm looking forward to posting some of the B-reel, Before we sign off, though, let people know where they can. Obviously, you sold out this Gen 2. Let people know if there's a Gen 3 coming out and where they can follow you on all the different social media platforms.
Yeah, so just Google Scott Lancaster and you should be able to find me. There is a waiting list coming for the Gen 3, which is currently on the website.
Here
If you
we
go to
go,
any
waiting list,
Gen 2.
Josh. You're on waiting list.
Yeah, maybe or maybe
have
not.
to
You'll
buy
get a
some-
call. No, who knows? You know, we'll see.
Do I have to buy, what else do I have to buy to get into this, to get on the way?
No, cheesecake would definitely help. Cheesecake would definitely
Oh,
be a
yes.
good start. But yeah, honestly,
I'm
guys,
sorry,
I
go
really, really
ahead.
appreciate
So
it.
there's a wait
I really
list.
appreciate it. Honestly, I really appreciate it. This has been super, super fun. Yeah, honored to have had some of your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Sir, well, man, I know we'll chat again soon, whether it's off camera or on camera. But I'm looking forward to watching your journey, watching all the content you're putting out. I think it's top notch. I'll let everybody know. YouTube, Instagram, go find this man. He is a great follow if you're mildly interested in watches, and and then I would encourage you to just take a peek at what he's building over there. And if you're at all interested, I think it is a purchase well worth making. And I can't wait to, over the next few weeks and months, report back on my experience. So thank you, Scott, so much. We look forward to chatting with you soon. And I hope you get some sleep tonight and enjoy that young one. I know you got a young one in the house as well.
Yeah, man. That's man. I was almost in tears the other day reading stuff about like how you miss your kids when they're little, and I was just lying there in bed like sobbing like an absolute little girl. Like honestly, like man,
That's
like
what kids do.
I
Yeah.
can't even remember the last time I cried, mate. And I was literally sat there and I was like, the fuck am I doing? Like I got up and just got a drink. It was terrible, man. Terrible.
How old is he?
2.5 now. 2.5.
2.5.
Oh.
Okay.
That's great.
So
That's a great age.
my youngest is about 3.5, and he's our last. Obviously, after 5, we decided to be done. But yes, the reality of like we're done changing diapers, we're done potty training. Like he's no longer in a crib. Like all these little things. It's like that's like I'm kind of glad, but it is kind of sad too.
I have a
age,
15-year-old and go ahead.
What? Sorry.
Ages of your children.
So my oldest just turned 14. She's a girl, and then we have 4 boys, and they go 11, 8, almost 6, and very soon, and a 3-year-old.
Okay, so you got the girl, and then you just went on an absolute home run with the with the 4 boys, and just did not like you did not change the angle at all, did you? You just
Man, it is. You know, when we were on vacation this past week, so
Again?
like for real, we were on vacation and we saw like a little girls at the beach, you know, like a little toddler, and I looked over at my wife and I said, you know, if there was 100% guarantee that our 6th child would be a girl, I still would say no, we're not having any more kids. I had her.
You got her hopes up there
She
for a
was like-
second.
and I
She's
was like,
like,
nope, still not doing it. We're done. We're done. I love my kids; they're the best. But Brad, you said you have 2 kids.
I have a 15 and an 11-year-old. I will say I'm in the same boat as you. And you know, having a 15-year-old, 3 more years and he's off to college. But it's kind of cool how you go from thinking, okay, my life's going to end when they leave, to you're watching them go on this journey, and they need you less, and it doesn't hurt as much as you think it will, and it's kind of cool, and they become more of a friend as opposed to a dependent, and it's not all bad. It's a really cool
Perspective,
journey.
man. What would you
I
guys?
think Brad, you should for your oldest 16th birthday. I think you should order him a Gen 3.
Oh man,
That's
nice.
what I'm saying.
Boom.
There, that's what I'm
I'll
saying.
put him on the wait list.
We just cannot say goodbye to Scott.
I know.
We're just gonna keep talking forever. I hate goodbyes.
I hate goodbyes.
Before we go, can you just kind of give me like your honest perspective on like what sort of time I should wait until number 2? Because we've got number 1, he's in the bank, like he's in bed right now, sleeping, snoring his little head off. What about number 2? Like when should I
Dad Talk, where we talk life. Dad Let's talk life.
It's past time, man.
Yeah,
I will
is.
say, I don't know. It is having the gap is nice in some ways because you can get past, the diapers and the potty training before the next one starts. But there's the smallest gap between my kids is I think like a little over 2 years, and the sets of siblings that are 2 years apart, like they have a lot of fun together. They actually become friends at some point. And obviously that's going to change over time because one's a girl and one's a boy. But it is kind of cool to see them interacting and playing together. And so, I mean, personally, my advice is just if you're going to have two, have them together quickly. If you're going to have three, just get them all lined up. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, my kids are 4 years apart. And so there's definitely been only now, I think, well, I don't want to say now only, but they've become closer now than they have been because, as you age, that gap narrows.
So maturity gap.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, 4 years is kind of a lot. It's not horrible. I mean, they're just in different phases at each point. So, yeah, get busy, man.
Okay, can we end this as soon then, so I can catch her before she comes to bed or what?
All right, we're gonna end this. Scott's got some business to take care of. Again, man, thank you so much.
Yes.
You guys as well.
Yeah. Yep. All right. See you, buddy.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Well, that's another one done. Time to pack it in. Brad and Dusty signing off with a tired grin. Got stones to set and problems to fix before we're through. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll complain to you next week too. Back to the bench. Back to the bench. Where the size and jobs are endless and the deadlines make you clench. We'll be right here, torch in hand. Two guys trying to understand why every ring's an heirloom and every rush job's played. Back to the bench. See you next week.
We are insanely casual, but man, I just got back from vacation and I walked into the store 30 minutes ago. Had to get all this set up. Had a little technical difficulties as typical for us, and I'm just trying to make my coffee real quick. But we are ready to go. How are you, sir?
Can't wait, man. I've been looking forward to this. I've been watching a couple of your episodes and stuff throughout the day just to kind of get a feel for the vibe and what to prepare for. But yeah, the more that I watch, the more excited I just got. So yeah, I'm excited to dive in, and I've got no idea what you guys are going to want to talk about, like really. So yeah, it could go anywhere.
Well, we will have.
What happened?
Oh, did we lose him already?
All right. Hopefully we did not lose you.
No, there he is. He's fine. We're good.
You're back.
If you have listened to us, you know there is nothing to prepare for.
That's it. That's why I was worried originally. I was like, oh shit, like there's going to be two of them and they're going like two heads are better than one, and it's going to be late where I am. So I'm really tired. And then it was like, these guys just fucking roll. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Get a coffee and see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully this is like the easiest podcast / interview you'll ever do in your life, because it's legit we're just hanging out, talking. We just love all this industry stuff and making light of it and having fun with it and not taking it too seriously. And that's our vein, and that's where we're just sticking to it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually quite interested and kind of excited to learn a little bit about what you guys do as well, because obviously, like you mentioned that like Brad, you used to be like a watchmaker, so you're a recovering watchmaker apparently. Like,
absolutely.
I want to learn a little bit about that, because yeah, there's probably a couple of little golden nuggets of wisdom that we can probably share. Well, you can definitely share with me throughout this episode, so I'm ready and raring to go whenever you guys are. But yeah, where do you guys want to start? Where's kind of the where's the starting point?
Well, I mean, obviously, as you can see here, I got your box here, and I think we talked over. We talked before. I ended up getting this package. I mean, like the day before I left to go out of town for like what, 7, 8, 9 days. Mm-hmm. And so I just opened it. Just because I couldn't contain myself, I wanted to just do it like live. But I was like, I just have to see it and touch it and hold it. And that's when I messaged you. But I put it back in the box, and it's been here. I did not take it with me on vacation. I left it here so it would be kind of fresh. So obviously we just want to, touch on that because it's kind of cool.
Oh, absolutely.
And but then just have a conversation with you because I think once I ran across your account, which I don't want to say too much now because we already started recording, but we're chatting. But just how I found your account and why I thought you were an awesome person to eventually have on here anyway. So I always try to find like-minded people who don't take life too seriously.
Yep.
Awesome, man. I'm actually really happy that you didn't open it live, and I'll explain why. But when you opened it, Dusty, was everything like okay? Like there wasn't any like big issues or anything? And I'll explain why in a second. But was everything okay?
Completely disheveled.
Yeah, everything
Was it? Was it completely fucked? Was it? Okay.
No.
Perfect.
It was great.
So first and foremost, absolute assholes. Because I just had a little mini heart attack there. But secondly, right? So this literally happened, right? This literally happened. I'm giving you guys an exclusive right now. So I start getting out of 200 watches, I get 2 or 3 customers who are saying, my packaging is completely torn apart. And I'm like, man, could it have been is the pouch too heavy so the inside's kind of been a little bit, I'm like, I was racking my brain for a week, how could this happen? Did I accidentally put a little miniature real tiger in there and did that tear the fucker up? I don't know. And then I get an email from a guy called Carlos from the US. And he says, oh, mate, watch is awesome, but the inside's tore up. I think the customs has been looking for drugs or something. I'm like, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
Because the side of the packaging is hollow. It's just like a paper shell. They've been tearing them up because they thought there was drugs inside. So
that's where you're putting the drugs. Man.
So I am now in the process of changing my name to Pablo so I can fit it. So I'm there. Second name Escobar. I'm going to be there. And I'm moving to Mexico next month, so I can't wait. Man.
Double dipping. I knew you were doing something.
You can't make a living just selling watches. It's not possible. Or fixing them. That's what we've taken from our 20 plus years of experience. No, when I opened the box, the only thing that was, and I can see what you're referring to because when which I'll get it out here in a second, the cardboard around it where the watch cuff set, it had a little tear in it. So it looks like somebody pulled it out, pushed it back in too hard. But I mean, I'm not going to be wearing the box, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it, and I really appreciate the fact that obviously you understand that, and you kind of being very graceful with it. But from my standpoint, how much time we put into actually designing it, and then for it to arrive like that, and for someone to just tear it apart, I'm like, fuck's sake, man. Do you know what I mean? Can I swear on here? Actually, is it okay to swear on here a little bit if I get a little bit?
We want you to be yourself.
Yep.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, I was not very pleased.
So what time? All right, because I obviously am terrible about using my brain. So what time is it where you are right now?
It's 8 o'clock. But I woke up at 2. So I always work super late for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Okay. All right.
Where are you?
Thailand.
Oh, wait a minute.
Idea.
I didn't know you were in Thailand. Is that where you live?
Yeah. No, yeah. Little boy, wifey.
Records podcast.
I just didn't pick up the Thai accent,
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Man,
yeah, can't deal with the
I'm
British
over here
weather,
thinking we're calling London or something right now.
Yep.
Okay.
No, it makes sense.
Okay.
I can pick it up now.
Definitely not living
Definitely
in London. Yeah. But yeah, Thailand. Have you guys been over Asia? Have you guys spent much time over this side of the planet?
No, not at all. We're having too much fun, but we haven't even started the show yet.
I know we really need to start. So.
All right, pause everything we just said, and me and Brad are going to do our best attempt at a very lame intro, but to make sure we got you correct, you are Scott. Now, where we live in the southern part of the United States, we have a town here that is spelled the same way your last name is, and we pronounce it Lancaster, and I'm positive that's not how you would pronounce your last name.
So there's a Lancaster, South Carolina, and then a Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So it's maybe one of those.
So I've actually had, funnily enough, I've had a lot of like clients when I used to work with clients in the US literally say Lancaster, like literally the exact same as that. So now I know that they were in the South. But yeah, like either way, it doesn't really matter, guys. But like Lancaster is like the British way to say it. So, but to be honest, whoever listens to this is not going to give a shit anyway. So just whatever. Nobody cares
are
what my
correct.
name is.
All right. Well, on that note, I'll take a sip of coffee. Me and Brad will do our awesome intro.
Yeah. Totally.
We should have kept you in the little off-site green room.
In
and
the
then
green
brought you
room,
in.
as it were.
Yeah, the green room is your own room. That's white. I have the camera adjusted where you can see my knees and my legs, so try not to get too distracted. I'm trying to keep my
Very
legs
nice knees
down.
and legs. Yeah, very nice knees and legs.
I have a tan. I just got back from the beach.
I can tell,
I'm
man.
nice
I can
and
tell.
tan.
Look at me. I look
You
like a
could
fucking
see the
ghost and-
difference in me and Brad's
I
skin
hate this.
tone.
Yes.
Also, I'm
That needs a
taller than
holiday.
Brad too.
Thank you.
It's not a competition,
you.
guys.
I do.
All right. Are you ready, Brad?
Sure.
Okay, we're just going to ignore the fact that Scott is sitting right here staring at us. All right.
Do we clap?
Do we clap so we can clearly... We should probably clap.
All right,
It's
we gotta
tradition.
clap. All right.
Who's going to clap? Hold on. I can do it.
Okay.
But you're going to have to do it. All right.
3, 2.
I think they've went out. Is it just me? Is it just me here now? Okay, let's see if we can... Do I need to jump back out and jump back in? Do I need to jump back out and jump back in? Let's see if... I think... Oi. Oh, man. There we go.